of what was a tumultuous day.
Tonight, the stunning public breakup.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
Just days after that lavish Oval Office send-off.
He's done a fantastic job.
So I expect to remain a friend and an advisor.
President Trump and his once top ally, Elon Musk, now in a nasty public feud.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
All starting this morning when the president was asked about the former Doge leader's criticism of his so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which extends the Trump 2017 tax cuts and eliminates taxes on tips and overtime. Musk slamming it, saying it spends too much.
Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
The president, who recently showed off his Tesla at the White House, saying Musk's opposition began because the bill eliminates electric vehicle tax credits, which hurts Musk's business.
He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk responding in real time on X. False. This bill was never shown to me even once. Moments later writing, whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork. I pressed Trump about Musk's criticism.
And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point, they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it, and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome.
Put the signs up, put the hat on. Let's go.
All of it a sudden shift for Musk, who enthusiastically campaigned for Trump. Today, the president suggesting he would have won in 2024 without the support of the world's richest man.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Minutes later, Musk firing back, writing, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude. And this afternoon, the war of words escalating even further. President Trump posting, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate, and he just went crazy. And that the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Musk then writing, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they've not been made public. Musk offered no evidence to back up his accusation, and nothing made public has implicated Trump, who's denied any involvement in Epstein's criminal behavior. The White House responding to Musk's claim, saying it's a, quote, unfortunate episode from Elon. The president late today posting, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress.
Across the board, Tesla shares.
Meanwhile, as all of this unfolded, Tesla stock plummeted, losing over 14% of its value.
Reuters is now reporting that Trump's team held multiple meetings today to deal with the fallout from Musk's post. Yeah, of course they did. Do you know why? Because this situation has everyone across the globe focused on it. I think more people were on Twitter today than have been in years. And absolutely everyone is talking about it, including some Republicans in Congress.
It's not helpful, but I don't think it changes their trajectory in any way.
It clearly is personal, but look,
it seems like it's more than the EV mandates.
look, I don't know what motivated this disturbance to begin.
Elon, I've had a lot of love and respect for you for what you've done for this country over the last several months, but you've lost your damn mind. You've lost your mind. Enough is enough. Stop this. I don't think it's healthy.
It doesn't dim the fact you got two men that are saving this country. And I don't care what they say. I don't care how much fighting they do. I admire both of them.
Now he's calling for his impeachment. I mean, it's just going off the deep end.
Does Musk have any sway up here anymore?
I'm sure he does with the Democrats, but you know, he's got a huge checkbook.
Can we just talk about Congress for a second? We admire both of these men. They're saving the country. I love the guy. The guy who today said that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, agreed that he should be impeached, said he's about to cause a recession, and Elon Musk, who credited himself with Republicans winning Congress and Trump winning the White House. But yes, those Republican lawmakers love the guys. And I just want to, for you at home, if you thought that Donald Trump was so enamored by Elon Musk's power and influence and wealth, they were never going to break up, you were wrong. If you believe that Elon Musk wasn't happy with the bill and wasn't happy with the way Doge was treated, but he would get over it, you were also wrong. If you believed he was headed to Austin, Texas to spend all of his time and attention on Tesla, clearly you were wrong. However, if you look back in history and said every person who has power and influence, who likes the spotlight, who gets close to Donald Trump, eventually gets burned, well, my dear, you are absolutely right. So let's get smarter and bring in our leadoff panel here in LA tonight. Peter Baker is here, chief White House correspondent for the New York Times. Max Chafkin, Bloomberg Businessweek journalist and co-host of the Elon Inc. podcast. And Jessica Yellen, founder of the News Not Noise. She is a former CNN chief White House correspondent. Peter, let's start with you. What was your first thought when all of this started to unravel? Oh, your audio is not working. Peter, try again.
Sorry. I would say that this is the least
You know what happened, Peter? Elon Musk has so much control over technology, he immediately cut your mic because he was afraid of what you might say.
He did. He's got it. He's all over the place. No question about it. He's the man. Look, of all the surprising stories we've had so far this year, this is the least surprising story of all. It is remarkable, but not the slightest bit surprising. This was almost inevitable. Everybody saw it from the beginning. You have two very big characters, both mercurial, both erratic at times, both, easily offended, both very certain of their own specialness, and both inevitably heading toward a confrontation. The only thing that's surprising is that it happened particularly now as opposed to a month from now or 2 months from now, because it felt like there was something going to happen almost certainly. Now, it's important to know that as remarkable as this was, and as stunning in some ways as it was, because it was so harsh, it was so personal, it was so escalatory, it may not be the end of the story. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, what is remarkable about Trump is sometimes people get into these big fights with him, and then sometimes they end up making up. And there's a lot of reason for Trump at some point to want to make up with Elon Musk, who's got several hundred billion reasons why. But we'll see. I mean, they're very, very unpredictable at this moment, and it's a big fissure within the Republican Party, because it is certainly true that Donald Trump relied heavily on Elon Musk last fall to win, and he's relied on him this year to enforce discipline among Republicans who were afraid of primary challenges funded by Elon Musk.
But Peter, don't we actually just have to press pause and ask ourselves, and I know the reporting still has to happen, but what would cause the richest man on earth to suddenly go absolute scorched earth on the most powerful man on earth?
Well, look, he's an unpredictable character to begin with, right? I mean, he is one of the more colorful characters we've ever seen in American politics. He's out there, fathering children with multiple mothers, and he wants to take us all to Mars. And he, appears in a conference for conservatives with a chainsaw, and he appears in the Oval Office with his child, and he's been, according to the reporting in my newspaper, last year's campaign, using certain substances more than a doctor would want you to use them. And so, it's hard to say. He's obviously suffered a lot economically in the last few months. His reputation has been hurt. It's not the best business model for an electric car vehicle salesman to associate himself with MAGA, which doesn't like electric cars. But, at the same time, he had access that very few other people of his type have ever had to power. And I think it obviously, he was both enamored of it and burned by it.
Jessica, what about the path of absolute destruction Elon Musk leaves behind, right? Elon Musk is so wealthy and so powerful. He can leave scorched earth behind him, get on his rocket ship and leave, right? He joined this administration. Tens of thousands of people lost their jobs, right? Bill Gates said to the Financial Times, quite a picture, the richest man in the world killing the poorest children in the world, referencing basically demolishing USAID. Never in U.S. history have wealthy, powerful business people who have always had influence had such a stronghold inside the inner workings of the government. Week 2 of this administration, it was as though Elon Musk was the boss of the cabinet.
And it's an important question you're asking because it's so easy to focus just on the drama and not look at the human impact and the destruction he's left behind. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers out of jobs, scientists who can't do their work right now as we speak because they've been defunded, and more than 2 million people just in northern Darfur alone famished on the brink of starvation because of USAID cuts. He left that destruction. He's clearly thinking about himself. The question is now, what else is he planning? You know, there's a lot of dispute in Silicon Valley and in the tech world right now about what's really driving this by Elon Musk. And so the folks I'm talking to, some of them think it's just he's Space Karen. He's basically
whoa. He's Space Karen?
That's the saying. Yeah, Space Karen.
My God.
He's Regina George, you know, releasing the burn book, right? It's just a meltdown. The other part of the thesis is that a different view, that he actually thinks that he's been a kingmaker before, he has political influence through X, and that he believes that he truly can destabilize Trump and undermine the administration, undermine the policy. The most far-out theory is that he actually wants to bring in J.D. Vance, who is more aligned with his thinking. This is the conversation that's taking place in California tonight.
Max, what is your take? I mean, you understand this guy. New York Times is reporting that Elon Musk's own friends and peers were in absolute disbelief watching this. Yes, Elon Musk isn't happy with the budget bill, but the level he's taken it is so far beyond how bad the bill is. People are shaking their head going, what could have this man this angry? It's clearly not EV subsidies. He can just lower the price of Teslas and get over that.
I do think that the EV subsidies are part of that. I don't think that Trump is entirely wrong. And the reason I say that is because when Trump was running for president talking about getting rid of these subsidies, Tesla was a very different company. It was a company with a really successful brand, you know, had a lot of bipartisan support, and that has been absolutely torched. You've seen it in the sales. He just doesn't have the financial flexibility there that he once did. The other thing I'll say is
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh Câu Màu của mình. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ hướng các bạn Câu Màu một bức tranh về một cô gái đang ngồi thêu thùa nha. Ở đây thì cô gái đang ngồi thêu và ở bên cạnh thì còn có những sợi len, phụ chỉ, thước đo và cây kéo. Và đằng sau là những mảnh vải. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ Câu Màu mảnh óc của cô gái trước. Cái tóc của cô gái thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu nâu nha. Ở đây thì cô gái có một mái tóc rất là xinh. Tiếp theo thì mình sẽ tô một chiếc váy cho cô gái. Chiếc váy của cô gái thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô một màu cam. theo thì mình sẽ tô trên giấy. Tiếp theo ở trên giấy thì mình sẽ tô một màu xanh. Tiếp theo thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô một màu hồng. Tiếp theo mình sẽ tô màu ở đây chút hương nhuộm màu vàng. Tiếp theo mình sẽ tô những mảnh vải ở phía sau. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô một mảnh vải màu hồng nha. Mảnh vải chuẩn bị màu hồng. Tiếp theo thì bạn sẽ lựa chọn tô màu xanh. Tiếp theo thì sẽ là mảnh vải màu đỏ. Và một mảnh vải màu xanh lá nha. Ở đây thì có các dụng cụ như là thước dây này, kéo này. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô thước dây. Mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu tím. Tiếp theo đây là những con kim. Tiếp theo sẽ là chiếc kéo và những cuộn chỉ. Cuộn chỉ thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu hồng. Đằng sau thì là một bó hoa. Bó hoa này mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu đỏ nha. Chúng ta nghe màu đỏ. Chiếc lá thì mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu xanh. Rồi, đây là mình đã tô màu và hoàn thiện xong bức tranh về cô nàng công chúa đang thêu thùa. Thì các bạn có thể tham khảo qua